Hi everyone, this is Rick, and this is one of my segments I'm going to start doing where I answer questions that people ask me online, and I also share some of the excellent work that other people do cleaning their books. Now, I do not even pretend that I am the best comic book cleaner and restorer in the world. There are people way better, individual techniques than I do. I am pretty good. There's no doubt about that, but there are lots of people who have lots of good stuff, and I want to help share and get a community out there. I don't want this to be a secret thing that we all try to keep from one another. I want to share stuff as much as possible. That said, like my own formulations and chemicals and things, I have to sort of keep a little secret so I can sell them, because I have intellectual property on them, and as soon as I tell people what's in it, I lose my ability to secure that. Also, I cannot say things. I've been advised not to say things that people might try and get themselves hurt or cause damage to their comic books. So I'm sort of limited in that respect. But for general methods that most people can do, I can help you share each other's stuff just fine. You guys can sue each other all day for all I care, right? So Marcus asks the following questions here. He says, "Hey mate, I always look to your videos for the best way to keep and preserve comics. I've got 4 questions if it's okay." It is okay. First question, is it bad to store my comics in a very cold, or should I say air-conditioned room? Nope, that's fine. Second question, I stored my books and Mylars with acid-free full backing boards. I tape them tight, yet after a while some of those boards have a little brown in them. I'm so confused. Is there a reason for that? Yeah, I see that too. And one of the things that you should be aware of is that the backing boards are something called SBS stock, or like a sulfate-free board stock paper. You can buy big sheets of SBS stock and have it cut to size if you want. Now, what you're seeing is probably an artifact of it being in Mylar. Now, Mylar is much less permeable than polypropylene or polyethylene. You should try polyethylene bags too. And for that reason, and you tape it up tight, someone once told me that you should take your books out and air them out once or twice a year, just to let the gases come out, and that's what's happening, is that your book, part of the fibers that are they're acidifying and they're decaying are off-gassing in your book. If it's taped up tight, then those byproducts of the off-gassing are absorbing into the only porous material they can find, which is that SBS board behind your book. It's actually kind of good that they went somewhere, that they're not just sort of redepositing on your book like that. So yeah, that's what's happening, is your fibers of your paper are degrading and they're being absorbed into the book, which is good. If you really want to, you should put a piece of this paper in there. What I do, I'll show you but you can use this stuff right here, this microchamber interleaving paper. Just stick that, either in the middle of your book. I put one under the cover and one under the back page, and that can absorb a lot of that stuff that's normally coming off of there. So, next question, any idea why they don't produce Mylar bags with those peel tapes like on the poly bags? Well, I think, that's a good question. Can they make them so that you peel? I don't use that peel tape stuff. I really hate it. In fact, I've seen so many problems with it. Like sometimes I get books from people and they have them in there, and even then I've had problems with you just set them on things, that residue comes. I don't use it. I use this tape. I have a special tape you can see here that just says comics on it, and I use the wall safe tape, because it's very light adhesive, so I don't have that problem. Do not seek Mylar bags with adhesive already put on it permanently. I think the reason is because people who are doing Mylar are much more sensitive about the possibility of the damage to comic books. This is a guess. I don't know this to be true, and there's a lot of potential for damage if you do that. I wouldn't do it. Last question. I've seen people who fold flaps of their comic bags instead of using tape. I've been taping them all a while, but I agree tape can be messy at times. It might cause damage if we're not careful. It's folding. Okay. For years, I've folded books, and for a long time, I used to leave the tops up and just hanging over, specifically for that outgassing reason. So why did the bags even have folds? Why don't they just open at the top and just not have, like some of you've seen top loaders, right? Why don't we just use top loaders? And I think it's for that reason, that we they look prettier, they look nicer, and also we keep the idea that we keep things out better when they're sealed at the top. And so you're thinking about, I think, just folding and laying them back. I think that actually is fine. I don't think that's going to cause any harm. I do have concern about my comic books trying to off-gas occasionally, and not being able to do that. So what I do is I take a ruler, and I don't know if I have a book here I could show you. Here, like an example. This one is one I got from a comic book store. It has that tape on it. I actually leave a little space, only the width of like a pencil at the top, and I run a ruler down it and make a little fold in my Mylar bags. And then it's creased there, so there's a little bit of a gap that's kind of an air buffer, so that and what that does is it creates a little channel on either side here for gases to get out. That's what I typically do in a lot of books when I'm archiving in the storm for a while. So apologies for all the questions. I don't know anything about all these. I swear my knowledge base is really bleak. That's fine. He's just asking questions. There's no harm in there. So anyway, Marcus, enjoy. I hope that helps you out. Here we have XTA Matt asks, he says, is DI water distilled water or deionized water? That's a good question. It is deionized water. I have access to deionized water, which is different. They usually use an RO filter, a reverse osmosis filter, to sort of polish what we say polish the water, to remove things that we don't want in it. Now, what things don't we want in it? When we say ions, we mean chlorides, we mean magnesium, we mean calcium, we mean sulfates. These are the things that we don't want for me, especially when I'm cleaning a book, because I'm trying to remove that stuff from the book, so I wouldn't want water with that in it. Also, the cleaner that I make and sell is designed to remove those things from the book. And if you put you put this cleaner in regular distilled water, or God forbid tap water, some portion of that cleaner will be busy. I put things called chelators in it. If you watched my video on the oxygen comic book things, there's two different chelators. They bind and they hold up metal ions that are on the paper. If those metal ions are already in the solution, they're not going to work on the paper, because part of what I do is I put stuff in there to clean the comic, but I'm also trying to preserve it. So I do things like try to acid neutralize. I'm trying to remove little things that you would never notice are even there. They're in there to help make the book last a lot longer. And again, like I said before, is one of the reasons I don't really use peroxide on books very much, unless I absolutely have to and the book's really gone, is because although it makes the books look whiter, it does, regular 3% household peroxide, but if you don't neutralize that peroxide within just a few minutes, in about, I don't know, I'm going to guess, because I don't really know, about 3 to 5 years, that book's going to be really brittle. So I just don't do that. That's why. So I'm interested in the preservation of these treasures and not just making them look nicer for today. So there's that answer. Here we have a comment from Sarah J. Awesome. Incidentally, if you haven't seen our girl Sarah J. Awesome's website, her YouTube channel, on her Tesla stuff, if you like Teslas, definitely check it out. She's got a decent amount of subscribers now. She's monetized, so please jump over, give her a check out if you like Tesla cars. But so she said, that smell, I know that smell, and she wants to put comics in her kids' rooms. So good on you, Sarah. Welcome to the comic book fam, as we call it, the comic book family. Get those boys some comic books, girls too. There's lots of comics out there for girls these days. So good on you. Welcome to the family, and hope to see you around. Now, for some of the good stuff. I got an email from Stephen Nathan, who's great. He's really learning fast about this stuff. I got another guy named Steve from Sunnyvale who's going to be sharing some videos with me soon about some of the work he's done. But let's look at his before and after pictures. The lighting's a little different, so it's hard to tell, but he's got X-Men 90. You can see he removed some of this wrinkling here. He's got a few color breaks, but let's look at some of the really good work he's done. Now, I don't say that he didn't entirely use my cleaner. He also dry cleaned the book. So I think he said he wet cleaned, he dry cleaned, he pressed. So it's hard to tell looking at these pictures, but to me, this area is much whiter and the reds look brighter. He clearly removed some of these wrinkles from the surface. Look at this. Now here, this is something of note right here. Let's take a look at this spine. Look how much wider it is there. That's something to be aware of. And I don't really see a lot of difference up here because I think the after's on the right. But let's look down and look at this book. Note the edges. Look how this is the normal like shelfware handling soil that you see. Let's look at the edges of this book. Now I haven't even seen this yet, so let's look and see what look at that. Look how much he's cleaned this book up. Dear Lord. He's done a great job. I mean, I suspect that that's a combination of both dry cleaning and wet cleaning with my cleaner, but he's done a fantastic job. This book looks so much better. It really does. Good job. You see here. He's got some soil here. I'm looking for bright colors. It doesn't look that much better, but better. You could definitely tell, especially along here. You could tell he probably worked on it more in this area. We'll go up a little bit. It's cleaner. It's not incredibly cleaner, but it's cleaner. Looking for bright colors, looks the same. This corner down here, look at how dirty that is. And there's a little wrinkle here too. Yeah, definitely he cleaned this book up. I mean, I'm saying that is a huge difference. He's done good work. And he's showing me here, I think he likes to see how flat the book is laid out, and it looks pretty flat. And there's a few waves in it. Oh, there's that long cover crease. But good on you, man, because that's a nice looking book, and I hope you have it for years to come. It looks great. Here Jay asked, and just got this during the middle of this video. He says you can't take the staple out, clean it, and put it back in. Yeah, you can, and I do that, but about a fifth of the time, maybe a little bit less, staple will break because metal. Take any staple and wiggle it a couple times. It'll work harden. Take an old staple that's been oxidized. It'll work harden faster. So if I do that, if I do remove a staple and replace it, I usually will. I have a furnace, so I heat treat it. I'll put it in for I think about 560 degrees, overnight, and then I take it out. I have it programmed to reduce the temperature by 2 degrees a minute until it gets back to ambient, and then it should be flexible, malleable, ductile again. And then I'll usually electro clean it and put it back in. I actually had problems with this once because I've had people accuse me of replacing the staples with brand new staples. They thought they weren't original staples, and I had to show a video of the entire process that I took just so people believe that it was the same staple because they look so brand new. So there's a risk, and if you do too good of a job, people will think it's not the same material. So there's that one. Well, folks, that's all the Q&A I had for this week. If you have anything you'd like to share, any examples of cleaning that you've done that you'd like me to post here, and you're not too shy, I'd be happy to share it for you. And I hope I see you around. Take care. Bye-bye. Happy cleaning.